morning, writers. We're going to talk really briefly about how to log into Canvas, and I'm going to give you a little brief intro. So go to your Google page, your Google homepage. You have these three little dotty, that's not three, these 9 little dots, kind of square, the Google apps. So we're going to click on that. You have to scroll past all these good Google apps. And then you see Zoom, you see Savvis, which is our textbook, right? You don't need that. But you see this thing called Canvas. That's what we're going to click on today. It is going to ask you to sign in with your Google account. You will sign in. Don't mind the fact that I have a whole bunch of Google accounts on here. And this is what you're going to see. Yours will look a little bit different because you're a student, but you will select your teacher. So English 1, for example. And then you are in our Canvas. Let me switch to student view so you can see what you will see. All right, so this is the screen you will enter into. It will have sort of this little picture that you've been seeing all semester. It will have a to-do list, which I think that's especially helpful because it tells you when something is due, or when it's due, how much it's worth. You'll learn these little icons. This is a discussion icon. This is an assignment icon. And so you can sort of see the progression of, here's our draft, here's our revisions, then we have our final, we have this little to-do list that'll show you. And it goes past, because I know the Google Classroom to-do list only does for the week. This is different. It goes further, obviously. October 23rd is way more than a week away. And so it shows you what you have to do and what's coming up. All right, so then this is just our home page, our landing page. It tells you a little bit about the course. You can access the syllabus. You can click these links to go to the units. But I want to talk very briefly about the buttons. So we have modules, grades, Google Drive, Zoom, and Savvis. And obviously, you know what Savvis is. That's our textbook. You know what Zoom is. We use that all the time. This is actually how you're going to start accessing class very soon. We're not going to use the link that I've been sending out. I'm not going to send out a link anymore. We'll get there when it's time. Google Drive, that's how you're going to access all of your assignments. And that's how you'll do your assignments, by accessing them through Google Drive. Grades is very simply grades. So let's look at the grades tab. All right, so this is for obviously a test student. And these are the only assignments that are in the computer for right now that are in Canvas. You have a final project. You have a writing little activity we're going to do in class. All this stuff is all that's there right now. So this is going to connect to your PowerSchool. And so what's here will be the same as PowerSchool. Now, this is kind of a fun feature. And this is something you couldn't do, obviously, in PowerSchool or in Google Classroom. You can test your scores. So, for example, okay. For example, you think you're going to make 100 on your draft because you're going to turn it in because you're awesome. You think you're going to make 100 on that because you're going to turn it in because you're awesome. You, for some reason, think you're going to make a 75 on that. You're going to do 75% of that, and then you think you'll make like a 89 on the project. Okay, you test those scores, and that would give you an 88.5. And so the computer literally will help you sort of guess what your grade is going to be. And this is kind of weird when you're looking at a test student that doesn't have any grades. But when you have all grades but one, you can test and see, okay, now what do I need to make on that final project to either raise my grade, lower, you don't want to look for lowering your grade, right? Either raise your grade or keep your grade from falling, right? So that's a pretty cool feature Canvas has. I'll do a video on that. All right, so then we go here to modules. Modules is where you're going to get all of your content. I have gone ahead and done a couple videos, and I did these at the beginning of the summer. So I will go through and make some more. Hello, good morning. I'm going to go through and make some more So as we notice what we need to practice, but I made those at the beginning of the summer when I was learning Canvas myself. So we will add to that library. This is where you're going to turn in your Lit of Civil Rights Movement project. So we're going to scooch past that though, because I want to show you this right here. So this is how our units are going to be set up from here on out. So we have 2 units left in the semester. We got Spooky Stories and we got Star-Crossed Lovers. That's Romeo and Juliet. So what we're going to do is you will have a little bit of an intro that will tell you a little bit about your texts. Like here are the questions we're going to think about. Oh, how authors use what? I don't know. Sorry. What text we will read. We're actually reading more text than that. I need to add them. And then finally, what you will write. What's your project going to be? So that's for you to sort of read on your own. But this button here is going to be your best friend. It is how you keep maneuvering through your class. We're always going to go in order. So the first thing we're going to do is this writing assignment. It is something we will do in class. So it is locked until October 19th, which is the day we're going to do it. So don't do that on your own. We're doing it in class. All right, and then you can see that I have our text here. I went ahead and pasted it into Canvas, but if you are in person, you will have a paper copy, and if you are digital, here's your digital text, so you can have one in your Google Drive. And then we are going to, in class, listen to this reading and do a task, right? And so then we're going to keep going. We're going to go next. This is another text, right? Same deal. Text is there. If you want to read it on Canvas, you can also hit the digital text and listen to the reading. And then we hit the next button again. And again, this assignment is locked until it's time to do it. But what you need to know is that next button is your best friend. And then as I add content, that next button will pop up again and we can keep going. But that's the really cool stuff about Canvas. You also have a calendar over here. I like the calendar because the calendar is going to show all of your classes. And I can't show you that because obviously I only have my class. I wish I could pull up my Mississippi State calendar, but I don't have time to do that. So you can see all of your classes, where everything is due in all of your classes, and that's going to be really helpful to y'all as you move forward. And then it'll even cross off things. So like once you turn in this draft, it'll cross it off. It'll be like, you've turned this in. When you turn in the compare project, it'll cross it off so you can visually see, here's what you've done, here's what you need to do in all of your classes. And that is pretty helpful. All right, y'all, I hope this has been sort of helpful. I know it was the quick version of how to use Canvas, but I think y'all are really going to like it once you get into it, once you get used to it, because it has a lot of features that will be helpful for you. All right. Woo. Too early. All right. I hope y'all have had a wonderful day. I will see y'all very soon. Bye-bye.